Good evening. It's time for our evening development stream. Excuse me, frog and throat. And we're going to do a few things tonight. Mostly we're going to update some UI stuff. We are maybe going to do a couple of changes to the main map. And we're going to fix the fires. Okay. So let's get on with it then, shall we? We're going to do a couple of things to start with. Hey somebody, how you doing, bud? Our first thing here we're going to do is we're going to fix up our pawn. We're going to take off this spring arm and this camera to get us back to where we were. Okay, and so we're going to remove that, and there's one more place we need to do it, and that's here. Okay. Right, so there is our pawn done. That was a quick one. Well, that's what you want to do, somebody. You want to lose a combination of lower res textures plus LODs. Mostly to save on game size. I think Kent's been doing that for us. He's found a lot of textures that were not required, and a lot of them were even 4K textures, a lot of 4K textures on characters that just were not required. Okay. Now we've got our fire to do, right? This one shouldn't be too difficult either. And we probably need to actually do this one. Right, so we're on used fuel. Okay, and I believe we've got fuel here, and the default for this, I believe, is 5. So we want to push that out to 40. Okay. We want to make sure there's nothing else going on here. It's kind of screwing things up. Okay, so that's good. Oh, there's always lots of different ways to optimize. But let me know what you've found useful. Okay, so let's have a look at what's happening here. take that and like that. And there we go. Okay, Mr. Bad Guy. Now, this is one of the things we want to fix here. So that's that talk thing. So we want to find that and it's probably going to be in our NPCs. So let's have a look at that. Okay. Alright, I'm guessing this is it here. Okay. So we're going to take these two things out. Okay. So it's talk widget. Okay. So we need to be opening this up. Or not actually opening it up. All we need to do is copy our previous interact widget and copy the parts that we don't have. Okay. So come in here, widget interact. We'll split this off to the side a bit. Okay. Right. So we've got our horizontal box. Use. Okay. So there's our horizontal box. We've got a canvas panel. We wrap that with a border. Get our border. We wrap that with a vertical box. Even though we actually don't need this vertical box anymore. But anyway. And then canvas panel, canvas panel. Okay. Well, it's always interesting to hear what people have done to improve performance. The two obvious ones are basically cut down on textures. That's a good start. And don't bind things. And don't use event tick. That's the most obvious ones. Right, so we're going to look at our border here, and what we can do, well, let's have a look through. That's going to be okay. Right, this 960 by 150. Alignment 0.5 and 1. Well, that's a bit weird. I'm guessing that anchor's different. Right, that's not exactly what we expected. Ah, that's the vertical box. Right, this canvas panel. No, that's right. Right, so 960. 150. 0.5. 1. Don't size the content. So vertical box. Vertical box. Just to there. Zero, zero. Now a border. Fill. That, and that. Okay. So the padding is going to be 75, 60, comma 75, 20. Okay. Oh, you're here for a masterclass, are you? You're not asking for much. Okay. So, there we go. So that's beginning to look a bit better. We can come in here now. Canvas panel. Okay. Horizontal box. There's not going to be much to this one. This suggests horizontal box, okay. So this suggests I am updating the AI to incorporate it across other parts. So like the NPCs, you could walk up to them and talk to them, right? And it still had an old interface. So I'm just updating that stuff. And then probably what we'll do, I've fixed the fire, I've fixed our pawn. So we'll just take it as far as we can tonight, and I might try and fix some of the issues in the actual first level, like update the game mode, have a look at some of that stuff and see what we can do. Right, this seems okay. Right, so this is where it changes slightly. Right, so this image can go, then we've got that. HBUs, right, we need a size box. Okay, and then we need a border. And then we need a text. Okay. So we'll bring that out a bit. We'll zoom in on this a bit so you guys can see it as it changes. Okay. So this is going to be TXT talk. And it's going to have to be a variable, of course. Right. So we've got HBUs and these are the same. So we're happy with them. We've got this size box, right, which is going to do basically our border and keep it in the right shape. Okay. Oopsie. Then we're going to go to the border itself. That's 0, that's fine. That's the content, so we're not really bothered. All we need to do is copy this, go to our border, drag down here, paste it in, then just change it, 64, 64, okay. Then we've obviously got our text talk. That's, in this case it's text used, but that's alright. So our padding is going to be 0. Just trying to basically get the look of everything consistent. Okay, and I'm pretty much going to guess that it's like that. And there we go. Now we are going to have to add a bit of code to this. I believe this is going to be fine. But we are going to have to check one other thing. Right. And this is all well and good. So, if we look at this code here, right, we've got this thing here, and basically we've got to do the same thing. So we're going to go to the graph, right? We're going to copy this because we want the correct key from the key bindings. And if you're doing that, you should really turn all your stuff into instance meshes somebody. Right, and then we do this. Then we do this. We do that. We do that. We do that. Then we do that. Okay. And then finally we do that. Okay. Then we save that. We can close that for now, and that, and we can press save all. Once we've done our save all, okay, and we want to bump into your dude, right? And there you go. Okay. Now, these guys, from what I've been told, I can use the skeletal mesh that uses the S mannequin skeleton, right? Now, I don't know so that's Viking re-rigged. That's our actual character. I don't... Skeleton all meshes. Don't know if that's going to work. It might. I'll need to ask, is this the things here? Can't see it. Ah, I think it's this one. Right? It's not that one. We'll go with that and see what happens. Apparently not. I'll need to ask Kent about this one. What is the set of skeletons that we need to use to get that to work? Well, we can find out actually, right? Because if we go in here, right, the mesh will tell us which animation blueprint we're using. And it's... Right, I'm going to message him actually. Right, so we've posted that off. Now, we've got one more thing to do now. Right? And that is literally to talk to our dude. So it's basically, that's the one to talk to him. But when you actually talk to him, right? Right, this is it here. Okay, so we're getting our text, getting our dialogue, and then we'll show subtitles. Okay, so show subtitles is basically now is this. Okay, now what we really want to do here is either change this or what we could do is wrap it with a border. Right, this horizontal box, this border we shouldn't be padding it at all. Okay, and then we should be getting our GI parts and plugging this in. Okay, but this should be also wrapped in a canvas panel. And this canvas panel here needs to have a decent bit of padding on it. Right, now this border and horizontal box needs to be not that. I mean, that is more like it. Right? So we've got a canvas panel here. Right, okay. So we need to pad it. That's not enough. That's not enough. Okay, we're going 225 then. And go 50 there. We're obviously going to go 50 here. And then we're probably going to go 50 here. Right, and then this. It's going to be that. 0, 0. And we probably want to get rid of most of that. Okay, that's all good. We might want to wrap that in a size box, but not at the moment. Save that. Okay. So that should be that sorted out. So that's cool. We're cool with that. What was the other thing I was going to do here? Oh yeah. We need that up a bit. Okay. So that is in our widgets, I believe. And it's here. Okay, and it's offset from top. And we're going to go 775. Right, so this is 675, right? So 725. $150. Okay, that should do us. Okay, so that's that in line. That's both the things in line now that I wanted in line. And sorted out. Now we should have been able to work out the difference between this and this, right? It's 6 to 1, right? It's basically 6 to 1. So this is basically 500, and I don't know what this is, what size that canvas panel is. Well, it's 1920, right? So it's 1920 minus 900, so it's 1000. It's 1020 by 500 nod. Not sure. Not sure about that one. I think we could do the 750 on that. Yeah, that's more round. Save that. Okay. But that's better because I needed to move it off the interact, right? So that it didn't bump into the interact if both of them came in at the same time, right? Which is pretty much the same for the NPCs. So we wanted to fix them both. And that's actually everything I had as far as these fixes were. Right, so I'm thinking here, if we browsed this, right, we've got NPC master, right, and if he's definitely using right, so hang on a minute, NPC garden is this guy here, right? So the question is, which okay, that's not the guy that's actually gardened. Right, so this is the new guy that I brought in. Okay. And I'm going to have to wait to find out what is it. This one I need to bring in? It can't be. It can't. Right, I'm going to delete these two, right? Right, he's just using a third person animation. Right, I'm going to have to talk to Kent about this because the animations for the montages for the actual jobs themselves aren't going to work, right? Because they're targeted at a specific Viking, right? So unless Kent has created the other Vikings, then I'm not 100% sure what's going on. That's NP garden, that's NPC bed. This one is chopping and the other one is fishing, right? Now I'm using lods, making sure all your meshes have lods set up, and then set it up so it's pretty aggressive. It depends on your game as well, right? So what I'm going to have to do here is in our maps we're going to have to go into here. Right. And in our world settings, we're going to go to GM Greenland with the same stuff there. There's lots of ways you can do it, somebody, but it depends on your game, right? It depends what I don't know what your game is. What type of game is it? Is it an RPG? Is it a tower defense game? Is it a board game? Is it, I don't know what it is. So, and all of those different things would use different techniques, right, to increase performance. But I mean, the likes of doing the texture stuff isn't necessarily going to give you FPS, right? The texture stuff is going to give you less hiccups off a hard drive. It's not going to be like a, you're going to get a 5% increase in FPS with lower textures. What's going to happen is you're going to get less jumps in FPS, right? So it's just going to be, you're going to get less stuttering if that's an issue, right? But doing the texture stuff ain't. Well, I mean, what's your frame rate at the moment? Is the question, right? I mean, I would suggest that that's up the way. Right, so I'm really just trying to bump into one of our guys. Right, and make sure we get the right talk button. There we go. Okay. That's strange. It's easy, by the way, for us to put stuff in here, right? But that all seems to be working nicely. I mean, for a horror game or something like that, your target should only be like, no, it's just my usual, the evening one. Right, now there was something that I wanted to look at. Okay, and what we're going to do, I'm going to show you the problem, then I'm going to grab a cigarette, and then we're going to fix it. Okay, so we've kind of got two little things here that are going on at the same time. Okay, right, so that's cool, but we really want a message there that says you can't do that, like you need resources. Okay, and then what we want is if you actually pick it up and then use it, okay, right, so we'll work on that one first, but I'm going to grab a cigarette, guys. I'll be 2 minutes. If you're enjoying the stream, hit like and subscribe. I don't know if there's anybody new in or not, so check out the links in the description, etc, etc, blah blah. I'll do the shilling at the end. Right, I'll be right back, guys. Don't go anywhere. Okay, guys, we are back, and in answer to your question, Storm Run, you would add your cell shader when you get it. Don't need to wait till the end. In fact, you're probably better not wait until the end, because you'll be able to see straight away if it has any effect on performance and if you need to do anything with it. So, anything like that, just put it in your game if you've got it, because then you're going to get an idea of what's affecting gameplay. Like, there was, when I first ran this, I can't exactly remember what it was, but basically there was something in the game that absolutely destroyed the frame rate, and that was the first thing we looked at. Right, I was getting like about 5 frames per second. Right now, in a normal game, like a horror survival, what somebody was talking about was you should be aiming for 30. 30's fine for the likes of that. The only reason you need super duper fast, I mean, if you can get it to 60, great, right? But anything that isn't like a Twitch shooter doesn't really require raw speed, right? You're more going for steady, right? It's more of a marathon. Right, so basically we're going to have to do something with interact, right? Which we closed down earlier, which is obviously going to happen because that's what happens. Right, so back to here, back to here. And what we're going to do is we're going to add a variable to this. Right, and it's going to be is shown. Okay, now that might sound strange at this point, but you'll get the reason for it in a second. And what we're going to do is we're going to move this along a bit, and we're going to move that under there, tidy it up. Number one, tidy it up, plus number two, we can set this to false. Okay, and basically I've done it in the wrong place, right? So we're going to delete that, we're going to put that back in, we're going to go back to the event graph, we're going to compile it, and it's going to go in here. Okay, so we're going to set it to shown as shown false. Okay, and then basically if any of these are false, we set this to true. Right, so if we don't remove it, we've got a button for the player to press, right? So we don't need to show something that says basically no actions available, right? And duplicate it again. So everything other than remove, we're just setting shown to true, okay? Now we could have just done loads of things all joining up to one of these, but that would look an absolute mess. I mean, you could do it here and then just join these three up and then do them oh, hey ho, what the heck. Right, now what we want to do is we've got our border, and what we want to do is wrap this with a widget switcher. Okay. And we'll call it WS for widget switcher. And we'll call it actions available. Okay. Now, we are going to have to do something at the end of this. Okay. So, what we're going to do is we're going to duplicate this. Okay, and then we're basically going to remove everything. Right, so we're going to delete that. We'll minimize that. We're going to delete that. We're going to delete that. Right? And you'll notice now all we've got is this. Okay? And we don't even want that. Okay. So what we're going to delete is this. Okay, then we're going to put our thing there. And we are yep. We're going to remove that for there. Then we're going to delete our size box. Right, and we're going to have that. And this doesn't actually need to be a variable. Okay. But what it does need to say is no actions available. Okay. So we're going to call this, we're going to change the name of this to CP actions, and then CP no actions. Okay, and then what we're going to do is when we come in to here, right, we're going to bring this out a bit, and we'll bring it up a bit to there. We're going to add a pin. Okay. Then we're going to do a branch. Okay. Then we're going to get our is shown. That's going to go in here. then we're going to get this. And then we're going to type index, and we're going to say set active widget index. Okay, somebody, good to see you again. I hope you get your, whatchamacallit, optimization done. Right, so if we're showing it, we have index 0, and if we're not showing it, we want index 1. Okay? And now, when we press play, and we walk up here, we have no actions available. Okay? But if we take that and we walk up here, there we've got our thing. Okay? So there we used a cheeky little widget switcher just to give us text so that our little border thing is not blank, right? Now we could, if we wanted to, get a bit more ambitious, right? And fill out the logic a bit more by saying, like, if it failed no resources, then we put that in the text, blah blah blah, etc etc. But for a quick first iteration, to get it working so that things make sense, that's okay, right? I don't know why it's running so many of those well, I'm guessing it's because we did the meshes thing and now it's decided to go a bit weird on us. Right, now the one thing I want to check here actually, right, just to go back, and the thing that's annoying me, I'll tell you what I'm going to do, right? What I'm going to do is I'm going to delete the save games, right? Saved. Save games. Right. So we're going to save that. We're going to delete that, and that, and that, and everything basically. Right. Now, who wants to add some Steam stuff? Of course we do. We'll do this while the shaders are doing, right? So let's add Steam stuff. So we're going to go to plugins. This is the TP SAT thing, right? It's part of that. But I've got a way of doing it anyway for Steam, Steam stuff. Ah, okay, right, whatever. Right, what we need to do is we need to check in our plugins folder to see what we've got. Right, we don't have a plugins folder, which means that we don't have those plugins. Right? Right. So what we need to do is we need to create a folder called plugins, except not plugins, we need it to be plugins. Okay, sorry, I'm doing this on another screen, right? Right, so we're creating a plugins folder. I'm going to open that. I am going to go to my downloads folder. So I'm going to close that for now. I'm going to open a new file explorer. Right. Then we are going to go to downloads. And where would we find this? Well, there's a couple of places we could find this actually. Right? What we could do is if we go to D drive and if we go to Unreal Projects and then Chronicles, then plugins, right, what's this auto setup 1.22? Don't know what that is. But we need this. So we're going to copy that. And then we're going to paste it in here. Okay, so we're done with that. We're still using this for the likes of our save games and that, so we'll open save games up again. Do that, and then minimize that. And now if we go into project settings, and if we ignore the fact that I just went into project settings, right, and instead go into plugins, okay, and type Steam, is it Steam? Probably need that. This is probably because I've just loaded it in while it was on. Right. Installed. Right, and what we're looking for here is advanced Steam sessions and stuff. I'm afraid to hit this new, this restart now until this is done. Right, so I'm going to close that. I'm going to save all. Right, plugins. Right, these normally pop up right at the start, so it's probably, I'm going to have to do a restart on this. Right, which is fine. I've done a save all before, so not too big of a deal. So we'll fire it back up. Okay, and we went right past it. Okay. Now we're going to be using the space war thing, you know, the test code from Steam, but we should be able to get it working. We should be able to get it working okay. Right. Close that. We'll cancel that for now because we're working on something else. And we'll go to our plugins. And here they are. Right? Advanced sessions, advanced Steam sessions. Okay. So we're all good. And the next thing we need to do is we need to start copying like any files. So we're going to go to here. Okay, apparently we're not going to go to there. Right, so this is going to be our Greenland thing. Okay, and we're going to be going into config, and we're going to be changing the engine in the game, right? And what I'm going to do on the other screen is I'm going to open the exact same thing in the Chronicles game, and that's going to give us all the settings that we need for Steam. Okay, so I'm going to find that again. So bear with me guys, it'll be 2 seconds and then I'll show you how to basically activate Steam. And this is going to allow us obviously to start doing stuff with Steam achievements and things like that. Right, so this is our thing here, and the type of stuff we're doing is not any of that, not any of that, not any of that. We are interested in this part here, online subsystem Steam, this part here with our dummy dev app API ID, this stuff here. So this is the stuff we're interested in, okay? And this as well, and this, and that's it, okay? So I'm going to move this to the side. Okay. We're going to open this in Notepad. Now, it doesn't actually really matter where you put this, right? But we'll put it kind of near the top-ish. Probably about here, right? So we'll get it. I'll paste it in part by part for you, right? So if you guys are doing this, you can follow along with this, right? So first part, online subsystem, Steam. Now obviously you might be using Epic, so you would have other entries here, right? You would have online subsystem Epic or something, right? But we're just going with Steam at the moment, unless Epic give us like a huge bag of money. Right, so since I don't think Epic are going to give us a huge bag of money, we'll just do Steam. So our next part is that, Steam subsystem. Then we're going to do two more here, which is the Steam Net driver and the engine script, and for some reason I just made it disappear. Right, so we copy that, and that can go in there. So we've got this game engine, copy this exactly. There's lots of stuff online about doing this, right? But I'll leave this up for 2 seconds so you guys can see that. Okay. Then we basically save that. Close it down. And then we check on our default game, I believe. Or that might just be it. I'm just checking. So it's not in default game. I know it's not in there, and I'm pretty sure it's not in here either. Nope, not in there either. So the only place that it goes is default engine. I'm going to check default input, but I'm pretty sure it isn't in there either, because this is just all your config for your, basically when you set up your project settings, right? So nope, not in there. So in theory now, if I start up Steam, and it is started up, right? I've got Steam added up, started up. Okay. And then I do standalone game. Right? And we're gonna go test map. No, we don't want to do that. Right, why is it doing this? Right, okay, that's fine. That's fine. You got me on this one game, right? We're going to go to project settings. We're going to go to maps and modes. We're going to go default is okay. Apparently I don't have a game mode for... Okay, whatever. Right, we'll leave that as is. That's right. It should do that. Oh, wait a minute. It's because I've not opened the map since I restarted. What a doofus. Right. Okay, you've got to do this in standalone mode, right? If you do it in editor mode, Steam doesn't activate. There is another way of you can do it. I'll show you in a second. That'll get Steam to actually run, that you can test it. Okay, so here we go. Right, and there you go, Steam is up, okay? So I can now hit the Steam button, which it's Shift Tab, okay? So you can see you've got remote play together, blah 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 blah, and it's Space War, right? So that's all working. Now there is another way you can do this, and I'll show you how to do it. Because the different versions of Unreal Engine are kind of quirky. Some work in standalone, some don't. Some you need to do this, what I'm about to show you. In 5, it's really quirky. I got it working, but I had to do a lot of trawling the internet to find the right exact files to work for the advanced session stuff and all of that. But that's what you should see. So basically the other way to do this, right, is to go into your project file, right, and if you right click on that, or sorry, select it, right click it, and then hit launch game. That is the other way to test Steam, okay? Okay, it might take a second to start. Here we go. This is going to start at the main menu. And it's going to throw all my monitors into turmoil. And that's interesting. Here we go. Well, that didn't work right. Okay, so that's because of the wrong thing. Okay. But the important thing here is, what I was trying to show you was Steam, right? So you can see that Steam is up and running. Okay. If you hear me talking about TP SAT, right, and basically switching everything out, this is it, right? It's TP SAT template, right? Now, what I'm going to have to do here to get the heck out of this somehow. Right, this is destroying my... It's destroying my computer. So, rather obviously, Right, things have gone dramatically wrong here. Right, I've got a little bit more control over my mouse. Right, basically my mouse doesn't know where it is. Right, not good. Right, we're gonna have to do a task manager. Okay, so that's how you do it, but be prepared if you've got a wonky setup like me that the whole thing is going to go bananas. Right, I don't like it doing that. Can we just go to the task manager, please? Like, just do that. Right, I think that was actually the worst idea of 2023 so far. It's not even like I can actually go onto that third person thing and quit it. You know? Right, I would love for you to do something. Well, that's went tremendously badly. I can't even see the chat, right? I can't. Basically, I've got what you see on the screen plus a black screen on the right hand side and basically a blank task manager. Right. Well, I hope you guys are laughing your asses off, cause I would be. Right, we have a close button on the task manager. Doesn't exactly help a lot. Come on, this isn't even funny. Okay, well, if I am still streaming, I may as well call it at that because I'm obviously going to have to restart the computer. So, if you've enjoyed the stream and had a good laugh, hit like and subscribe. Check out. Oh. It's doing that thing again. Yeah, I think we're knackered, right? So I'll let it do it, and if it doesn't open up Task Manager within 5 seconds, I'm going to reset the computer. Right, and before I do that, check out the description for this game Discord, for my personal Discord, my Patreon link, and my previous game on Steam. I can't barely move. I'm hoping you can see this to see how funny this is, right? Absolutely struggling with the mouse. Right, this just is not happening. Oh, it did something. We're back. A bit. We have got a task manager. We can't really move our mouse, to be fair. We've lost our task manager again. Okay, we've got a the problem is, because of the different resolutions and stuff, I can't select things. Right, I'm going to call it there, guys, and reset my machine, okay? So, thank you guys for watching. I'll be back at 2 p.m. tomorrow. I hope you have a lovely evening. Bye bye for now.